say. So if you want to be the first candidate, please raise your hand. Grab this opportunity given by Mandy and everyone. So yes, thanks for coming, everyone. So who's our first candidate?
Me, I would love to volunteer myself.
Wow, great, Gail. So wait. So yeah, okay, Mandy. Let's
I'm ready.
okay, go.
All right. All right. So, Gail, what kinds of things do you like to draw?
I'm sorry. What do you mean by draw? I apologize.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, if you think about maybe with a pencil or pen or crayons, what kinds of
Okay.
things do you like to draw?
I would love to illustrate any persons that I always think that would be someone that I love, maybe my boyfriend or my siblings. So these are the typical people that I always. I'm not good in drawings or illustrating a person because that's not my forte. But if ever I will be given the chance to do it, well, definitely that would be the someone that I love most.
Good. Excellent. All right. And did you enjoy doing art lessons when you were a child?
Absolutely. There are several topics that we've discussed or tackled when I was during my elementary school days. And I was not that competitive when I was that age because all I was thinking is just to learn the subject and of course for me to adapt whatever surroundings that they are asking me to or whatever my teachers are asking me to do to comply with the assignments. So it somehow gives me the ability to compete with someone with my co-students and at least to be an expert to a particular subject with competitive with the learnings that I've done so far.
Good. And do you ever draw or paint pictures now?
Right now, no, I haven't got the chance since that's not my skills when it comes to drawing. So if people will ask me to draw something, I only have the knowledge when it comes to basic illustration like circle, hearts. Those are the typical things that I can draw. But for me to have this professionally be professional when it comes to drawing, I don't think that I can do it.
Okay, good. And how often do you cook?
Maybe if there's a special occasion, I will volunteer myself to cook for the best dish that I can present to my friends or to my family members. And that happens on a special occasion, but not that frequently because I don't see myself cooking and I just love to buy food outside. So that's the reason behind that. If let's say someone will request for me to be the cook, that's the only time that I will do it for them.
Good. Okay. And are you good at cooking?
Well, based on the feedbacks that I'm getting, they say that I'm excellent when it comes to preparing dishes or cooking, and sometimes for me to learn about the dish that not unfamiliar to me. So I normally using the Facebook platform or even YouTube. So at least I can get familiar and based from the experts and reviews. So I would learn about more about it. So at least if I'm going to apply it to my friends, it would be easier for me to prepare it. And somehow based on since it's already been delivered online, so I assume that it will be a perfect outcome to my friends, and I'm getting positive feedbacks from them as well.
Good. And does anyone in your family like to cook?
I can say my brother. He is the cook. He is the one who always cook. And apparently he had this dish yesterday that I love. It was a beef made of milk, so somehow incorporated with milk and other spices. And I think it was very savorizing, and I was delighted because that's the first time that I tasted about that kind of dish that he prepared yesterday. So when it comes to cooking, I can easily say that he is the one who cook a lot in my family.
Good. All right, so we're going to move on to part 2. Do you have
Okay.
something to write with?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me get my timer real quick. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you a minute after I read this. Describe a competition that you want to take part in. You should say what the competition is, how you knew it, what you need to prepare for it, and explain why you want to attend it. And you can have a minute to prepare now. Okay, Gail? Ah. And you
All
can
right.
have 2 minutes whenever you are ready to start.
I would love to try doing this singing competition. I already did it before when I was young, and apparently I won several contests. And right now, I want to try it again to at least showcase my talents in public. And my friend suggested me to try the competition online or even on television, so I could win the grand prize. But I was quite hesitant to do that because I haven't had enough practice, and it seems that my practice is not really um, excellent enough to showcase my talents when it comes to singing. And I want to try it because I want to be exposed in public, not only in my country, but of course to other nation. It should be nationwide since it is televised. And I want to also have the chance of at least have this kind of experience again, since I had competed before when I was a child, and I would love to try it in a way that I could get this experience in my life, because that would be a once in a lifetime, even if I will just get the chance of losing or winning the third prize. So it's enough for me because I have learned the confidence of be on TV. And at preparation, I think I have to do it every day, my practice, so at least to guide me when it comes to breathing exercise, on how to hit the notes, or try to for me to try to different genre, to expose myself on a different genre. Somehow it would also, if ever that the judges will ask me to sing a certain song, it will not be surprising for me since I've learned that kind of genre. So I think that would be a preparation that I have to do if I will be given the chance to compete again in the
Okay,
future.
good. Excellent. Excellent. Good job. Okay, so we're going to move on to part 3. You can take a breath.
Yeah. Let me just
And
sip a water.
yeah, go for it. I'm going to pull up part 3 while you take a sip of water, and I'm going to read it
Yep.
out loud. So, why do you think some teachers use competitions as class activities?
Mm, In my own perspective, they will ask participation from those students in order for them to overcome their shyness. And that's a way for them to at least to gauge those students For example, if the student is not is typically shy about expressing him or herself, the teacher will be the one to guide the student or the pupil. So at least the student can learn how to communicate properly, or whatever emotions that the student has. It would also somehow uplift the spirit of the student, in order for the student to vent whatever emotion that he or she has.
Good. Excellent. And is it a good thing to give prizes to children who do well at school, and why?
Certainly, because a reward is very important, because that would be a sign of appreciation from all of the students. So somehow, even if it's just a petty prize that the teachers are giving, so somehow it boosts their morale, and it would give them more uplifting spirit, so that they will strive more in the future.
Good, excellent. And would you say that schools for young children have become more or less competitive since you were that age, and why?
Well, I'm not really certain about pupils nowadays as compared before, but all I observe, students are quite ashamed of presenting themselves in public, because um, students or children are more exposed into solitary play online, in which they are more they glue themselves on TV or even on social media, as compared before. When it comes to children, they are more on competition. They would love to be in the field together with their friends. So it seems that when it comes to comparison, I believe that children before are very much competitive, and very much. I think they are more of a teamwork as compared to children nowadays.
Good. Excellent. And that concludes the speaking portion of your test.
Thank you. Wow, that's difficult. I know.
Well, I know. I think I hear some people saying, she sounds extremely confident. So I think that's your number one thing that you've got going for you, is that you just got into it. You started going. You didn't say, you didn't seem timid at all. Seem very confident. So is there anything that you want to say? Anything that you had trouble with or questions about?
Maybe for some things for some topics that I'm not really familiar with. So sometimes it takes time for me to get some ideas, for me to properly deliver it or execute the right words or sentence that I have to give.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I think I threw you off a little bit in the beginning when I asked you about drawing.
Yeah,
you were like,
draw.
what does
I was
she mean
thinking
to
about
draw?
cards.
Yeah,
I was thinking about cards.
I was like, she's a nurse. Maybe she thinks I'm talking about drawing blood. I don't know I don't know how to explain it.
I know.
So, yeah.
That's why I was...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you did a good job kind of recovering from that and asking me. So I'd like to point out to everyone that that's perfectly fine for you to say, I'm sorry, could you read that again? I don't think that an examiner would explain it to you, but I would just restate the question in the exact same way. So what kinds of things do you like to draw? So that was it. So you said, instead of saying draw back to me, you said, I would love to illustrate any persons. So instead of saying persons, just any person, or you could say, I would love to illustrate any people if you want to use plural. So persons is, I would love to illustrate any people, or I would love to illustrate any person. So those would be the better choices, but I love the intro that you gave. I would love to illustrate. So you changed draw to illustrate, which is a great thing. You said it's not my forte, which I don't know if everybody knows what that means, but it's not your specialty. It's not something that you are good at. So
yes.
what is your forte, Gaile? What would you say your forte is? Being a nurse?
I'm good at being since I'm a musically inclined person, so I love singing. That's what's my my example a while ago.
Good.
So
perfect. So
music.
Yeah, music is your forte, not art, not drawing. So
Not
That's a
drawing.
great way of saying that's not my specialty. It's not something I'm good at. So I just wanted to point that word out to everyone, and we'll put it in the chat. It's Forte. Forte is how you spell it. So I'm sorry, that's how you pronounce it. How you spell it is in here. So everyone can keep that word in their back pocket for later. I did want to say on the second question I asked you, did you enjoy doing art lessons when you were a child? Did you understand that I asked you about art lessons specifically and not about just lessons in general?
Maybe it's just specific for a subject that you were
Yeah.
asking.
So you said absolutely, which is a great introduction because I asked you a yes or no question and immediately you gave me a yes or no answer, but you didn't say yes and you didn't say no. You said absolutely. You said there are several topics that we tackled during my elementary school days. And I was wondering if you were going to talk about art lessons because that's what I asked you about, but you didn't talk about art lessons. So I'm going to be mean and say you weren't on topic, but your answer that you did give was really good. So to tackle a topic is to cover a subject. So that's a great, great collocation right there. You said that I'm not good in drawing, and you talked about your co-students. Co-students is a good word, but what would maybe be a better word? Can you think of another way to paraphrase co-students? Because we normally say co-workers, but for
Co-workers,
students, we usually say classmates.
Classmates, yes.
Yeah, classmates. So you did a good job paraphrasing. Co-students does work, but classmates is probably the best answer. And then you talked about that you're good at basic illustrations. And I love how the examples that you gave me were hearts, circles. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's extremely basic. But yeah, you're right. And then we kind of changed topics and talked about cooking. How often do you cook? Are you good at cooking? And does anyone in your family like to cook? I want to back up really quick. I asked if you ever paint or draw pictures now, and you said, right now, no, I haven't gotten the chance. So you don't have the opportunity or the chance, and I think that was a great thing. One thing you did say that I wanted to go over is you said, that's not my skills. So instead of saying skills, you want to say just skill. Yep, you can say that's not my skill. So if you want to say skills, you're going to say those aren't mine. So yeah, just make sure you keep it consistent between the plural or singular. And then I asked you about cooking, and you said, maybe if there's a special occasion, I will volunteer myself. So this is you saying, if I asked you, how often do you cook? So you're kind of giving me sometimes I do, but not really. So
not really,
yeah, I think that was a good way of saying I kind of cook often, but not really. If it's and some words that you use were a best dish, special occasion. You said not that frequently. You said, I just love to buy food outside. So that is your preference, is to buy food outside of your home instead of cooking. And you also told me that you get feedback from your friends. And you said, based on my friends' feedback, I would say that I am a good cook, which I don't know why you're not sharing your skills with more people. But one thing you did say is feedbacks with an S at the end. So it's just feedback. So
I love saying it.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. And just, it's a very small thing. I did hear you say savorizing. Can you explain to me? So we don't savorize, we savor.
Savor.
So you're enjoying the taste. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yes, I'm enjoying the taste.
Enjoying the taste is to savor.
Savor.
So yeah, I like the word that you made up. Savorizing is a nice way to say it.
Oh, it can be accepted.
Yeah, let's tell the dictionary people that we want it added.
Yeah, maybe in the future they will accept that word.
It'll be the 2020 word of the year, savorizing.
Yeah.
I think the 2020 word is going to be pandemic. But and you also said, I said, how good are you at cooking? And does anyone in your family like to cook? I loved how you said, let's say if someone requests me. So you kind of gave an example there. if someone requests you, that you will accommodate them and you will oblige them, you will cook, but you don't usually do it. And then you said, I can say my brother, he is the one who always cooks. And so you did a great job. You said he had a dish yesterday that I love. So if you had a dish yesterday, did you love it, or do you love it, or did you loved?
Loved.
Loved. So he had a dish yesterday that I loved. Good.
Loved.
Excellent. And it was something with milk in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. Okay. So now here comes the part where you really shined on part 2. And you talked about your singing skills, a competition that you want to take part in. And I do want to say at the very beginning on part 1, and maybe just all the way throughout, is some good advice that I can give you is you have a lot to say. You have no lack of words to say. It's just to take a breath every now and then. So you're going to wear yourself out. But yeah, take a breath. A good place to pause. I know. I think you're just, I mean, that's me. I had coffee this morning, so I feel like I'm just going 1,000 miles a minute. So
me, I just had one. That's why.
So let's say on test day, don't drink as much coffee. So you said, I would love to try doing this singing competition. So, and you came right out right away and answered the question, what the competition is, what you want to take part in. And you talked about how you would like to deliver and showcase your talents in public. You use words like grand prize, nationwide, televised, have this experience again, once in a lifetime. And then you threw in some musical terms, breathing exercises, which I wouldn't know what they were unless I had taken music, how to hit the notes, which sounds kind of mean that you're hitting something, but this is a great musical term. To hit the notes means to get to that note. And then you talked about the word genre. So first you said it one way and then you corrected yourself. So I'm going to throw out there 2 ways that I know how to say this word. It's genre or genre. So if you're saying like someone's name John, you can say genre or zh with a kind of a Z-H. So either way you say it is fine. Genre or genre. So it's not a English word. So I think it's a word that we have stolen from somebody else. And genre means what? What does it mean, Gaile? If you could explain to everyone what genre means.
It's like different categories in music. For example, classical, R&B, pop, those are the type of music.
Yeah, different categories, different types, different kinds. Yeah, good.
Kinds of music.
We can have music genres, we can have book genres, we can have movie genres. You can have all kinds of genres. So it's just a different type. Good. And you said, let's see. You talked about those kinds of things. So one thing I wanted to, just some corrections. My practice isn't great enough to showcase my talents. So the practice is what you're doing before you're singing. So would you say my singing isn't great enough or my performance isn't great enough? Yeah, there we go. So my performance isn't great enough to showcase my talents. And then you said, I would love to get this experience. So we don't get an experience, we have an experience. So you can say, I would love to have this experience again.
The experience.
Yeah. And you said, learned the confidence of being on TV. So learned the confidence is maybe a better way to say is gain the confidence. Yeah, gain the confidence. And then moving on to part 3, we talked about competitions in school and how that motivates children. You said, in my own perspective, they will ask participation from those students in order for them to overcome their shyness. So instead of saying in my own perspective, we can say from my perspective, or you can say in my opinion. So I think you took 2 of them there and combined it. So from my perspective or in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't lose any meaning. I just wanted you to know which one would be.
Preposition.
Yeah. I think I like that you said from my perspective. And I like that you said, you're not in school right now, so you don't really know what's happening, but you can observe as an outsider and see about some things. And some great vocabulary that you used were engage their students. You used pupil instead of student, which was wonderful. I haven't heard that word. And you said they can learn how to communicate properly. It can uplift the spirit of the student, boost their morale. You said people can strive, which means they can hope for, or they can, kind of go for something. And you said children are exposed to solitary play online, and you mentioned the word competitive. So those are some great vocabulary words that you used. I don't think this is exactly wrong, but I want to talk about when you said I asked you, is it a good thing to give prizes to children who do well at school, and why? And you mentioned a petty prize. So when you say a petty prize, what kind of do you mean? Do you mean small?
Small prizes. Yeah.
Yeah, so something that's kind of insignificant. Yeah, small.
Insignificant, correct.
Yeah, something small, something not like a car. But
Of course, don't
of course
expect
not.
children will.
Yeah,
will love
everyone
to
would.
get.
Everyone would participate if they got a car. So,
Of course.
and then you also said, as compared before, they are more to teamwork. So you want to say, as compared to before.
To before.
Yeah, they are more used to teamwork, or they are more familiar with teamwork. So we were discussing, would you say that schools for young children have become more or less competitive since you were that age? And you said as compared to before. So do you think that children are less used to teamwork now?
Yes,
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
are. Yeah, because of my example, have being them engaged into a solitary play.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that they're engaged. They're not. They're kind of confined to solitary
Confined
play.
or glued.
Yeah, they're glued to it. So everything they
Glued
do
to it.
that's
Yeah.
solitary is they do video games alone. They do, and especially nowadays, like you were saying before when we were talking about rain before everybody came in, that everyone's kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck by themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I loved how you said, is it a good thing to give prizes to children who do well at school? And you said, certainly. That's a great way of saying yes. And you said it so confidently. And I want to say to everyone, if you can hear the way that Gaile is speaking, her intonation, her tone of voice is wonderful. So they should strive. I'm going to use your word. They should strive to speak as naturally sounding as you. Certainly, because a reward is very important. And then you also said, well, I'm not really certain about. So do you hear how my voice changes? You said, certainly, because the reward is very important. And then you changed later to talk about something else. Well, I'm not really certain about. So you're saying with your words and with your tone how you feel. And then one thing that we also talked about, I wanted to go over, you said students are quite ashamed to be exposed. Can you go over that for me a little bit more?
Maybe they don't want to be in public when it comes to delivery or speaking out what they feel about something.
Yeah.
They're not really that exposed, and they have to be trained first in order for them to overcome that fear.
Yeah. So you had a good way of saying shy, and then you changed it to they're kind of afraid, they're ashamed to be in the public or in the limelight is what we would call it.
Limelight.
Yeah.
Yes, limelight.
So you did a great job. So my major critique, if I could even call it that, is to just breathe and take some pauses. Yeah,
Yes.
I do hear a few ums and things like that, but instead of saying you can just take a breath. So you don't have to say anything at all. So if anyone else has anything, I'm going to look at the comments. Anything else have any? Oh, now everyone's nervous to go after you. So congratulations.
Thank you. If ever you will be giving me the chance to score about my performance, how would you assess me?
I would say, gosh, you did really good. So I would just say if you can slow yourself down a little bit, I think you're really good. I mean, Jeff, you can chime in, but you said a lot.
Well, I could say for Gaile, Gaile, congratulations, you really did well. because you're so
Thank you.
confident. Your pronunciation is there. So actually, I would like to invite you personally to be part of the IELTS speaking battle.
Oh,
Yes, you
sure.
should. You should
Yeah.
do it. You will blow
Yeah,
them out of
sure.
the water.
So yeah,
Thank
I will
you.
book them. Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
which group you belong? Which group?
I'm from Niners. I'm from Niners.
No, are you
That's the.
part of our WhatsApp group or Facebook group?
Oh no, this is the first time that I've joined the team.
So how did
Ah.
you know the link? I'm
It
so
was it was
forwarded.
given to me by Miss
Okay.
Maylene. She was the one
Okay,
who
please
encouraged me
ask
to
Mylene to
participate.
join our group because we have WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
Ah,
you
okay.
should. You
I
should
will.
definitely.
Yeah.
It was nice
Yes.
to meet you, Gail.
Thank you. It's nice. I really appreciate your assessment.